Okay, let's do it.
All right.
So, when we last left off, the party had just managed to fight off a Bodak after finishing a showdown with Undead Beholder from the looks of things, as well as a few other zombies. Lots of questions. Very few answers found thus far. But the group is in the process of more or less flipping the home of the presumed Orcus-worshipping traitor that had something to do with, well, lots of things. But I guess we'll just pick it up from there and see what happens. So,
So where exactly are we?
You and I think, are just leaving his bedroom.
What?
Yeah, we found the coin, and that was just about where we
You
left
keep
off.
cutting.
You keep cutting out at the end of, like, you cut out at the most important part of whatever you're going to say.
Phil, I believe you and I are leaving that guy's bedroom.
Ooh.
The
Indeed.
Bodax.
And you have a box of naughty things with you.
Yes. We're leaving the presumed Bodax room. Because that was where we found the coin?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Oh god, we're gonna have so much fun with that.
Yep. I think everybody else is downstairs looking for something.
I'm waiting by the door.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I'm looking for any signs of evil things.
I'm still flipping upstairs.
Well, I'll
Okay.
flip downstairs. We'll get everything covered.
Okay. If you find any doors, let Trogdor know. I've heard he likes doing things to doors.
Indeed.
So, is there
Alright.
another room upstairs?
There is. So, there are actually a few. You've already been through a number of guest rooms and the small closet at the end of the hall. You've just recently flipped the master bedroom. And looking over, kind of across the house through the open entryway, you can see that the landing here on the second floor leads over to another, looks to be another turret or tower that kind of reaches up to effectively a partial third floor, much like the room where you fought the Bodak.
I would like to inspect the door to make sure it's not trapped or locked.
Okay. So yeah, you walk over along the landing, and well, there's kind of an open archway that leads to a spiral staircase.
Oh, okay, so it's just you walk up.
At least as far as you've seen, yes.
Can I inspect it for traps?
Sure. Go ahead and make an investigation check. All right. You do not detect any traps or funny business whatsoever.
I'll yell out and say, "Hey, Bungdo, come here." Because I would assume he's pretty close. Bungdo?
Sorry, what was that?
I found something and I yelled for you to come to me.
Oh, well, he waddles over and just like looks at whatever you have.
It's a staircase.
Detect traps then?
I did. You want to go up with me? This looks.
Sorry,
like...
give me just a second.
Motherfucker. Alright, fuck it. I'm going up without him.
All right.
He just, Bungdo's like, "One moment, please," and just stands there. And I just kind of stare at him for a minute, shrug, and continue up.
Okay. So you proceed up the stone steps that kind of wind around the turret, and eventually you do come to a door very similar to the one that led to the room where you fought the Bodak. A series of heavy pieces of wood kind of banded together with a pair of like metallic bands that kind of span the horizontal component of the door.
is
The door itself is closed. And, well, how would you like to proceed?
I'm going to stand 30 feet back, summon Mage Hand, and try to open the door with Mage Hand.
All right. So you will your hand into existence and go reach for the handle. And, yeah, turning the handle, it just kind of and pushes open.
Alright, I will push it open slowly. If I see anything, I'm going to grab the handle with Mage Hand and slam it shut.
Okay. So as you ease the door open, kind of describing across your field of view as it's revealed to you, you see a few more like shipping containers, boxes, crates, what looks like a pair of chairs as well as a small work table. As you push the door open to reveal kind of the end of the work table, you see a figure seated on a stool, kind of one elbow on the table, just casually looking at the door.
Okay, I will, he's just sitting there?
Yeah. You can't really make out a whole lot other than size-wise, probably about that of a human or elf. Seemingly just covered in a dark cloak, hood drawn over their head. Hard to really tell whether it's a male or female, even.
Do they look like they've been there a while, or do they look like they're out of place there?
Out of place how?
Like, do they look like they're a prisoner of this area? Or do they look like they just kind of, it's a thief that snuck in?
Well, you don't see any shackles or chains or ropes or anything like that, so there's nothing that would suggest this person is stuck here.
Okay, I'm gonna say, Oi, what are you doing here?
A rather dismissive voice just sort of says from the room, well, contemplating my next career decision, as my most recent stream of income has seemingly disappeared.
Disappeared as in how?
Alright,
Well.
I am back. I apologize for that.
Thank you for that, Phil. I look over at Bungdo and see as he runs up the stairs and explains himself. I just point and say, "Shut up! There's a person talking."
What? What are you talking about?
I point out the elf.
What elf?
There's an elf in the room on the top of the stairs.
I cast Produce Flame.
To be fair, first of all, you don't know it's an elf.
Oh, it's an elf-like thing.
Could be
Sorry.
human, could be an elf.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's a person sitting at the end of a table in the room. If Bungdo would like to respond upon coming up the steps, he can certainly do that.
What kind of response? Did they say anything?
So Togar opened the door with Mage Hand, just kind of slowly creaked it open, and basically said, "Hey, what are you doing?" To which the figure responded, "Contemplating my next career move."
And Bungdo heard this.
Probably would have heard something like it, yeah.
Well, what kind of skills do you have?
Did you say skills or skittles?
Skittles. Definitely Skittles.
I mean, it definitely sounded like skittles.
It is... You know what? I said skill.
You have the sneaking suspicion that Bungdo may be day drunk.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Well, it's still skill.
Yeah, Bungo's slurring his words a little bit.
The figure just sort of looks over at you, and you can see now as he looks up, from his voice, clearly a male. The facial features are decidedly elven, sort of angular and slim. You see a bit of dark brown hair kind of swept off to the side, probably tied back somehow beneath the hood. And he just sort of looks at you with a raised eyebrow.
Well, are you going to answer the question, boy? Are you daft?
Can I make a history check, see if I can... may have seen... or I guess, would I be able to connect anything to this guy?
That insight check was to see if the elf was daft.
The elf seems quite aware and calculating.
Bungdo starts to give him the eye while Togar does his thing.
All right, Togar, you were asking if you could make what kind of check?
Have I seen this guy? Like, a history check to see if maybe I can put 2 and 2 together, and... essentially, I think this might be my brother's possible killer. Just from everything he said.
What?
So, is there a check I can do to know if I'm...
Go ahead and make a history check.
Okay.
Hot damn.
So, there's nothing here that would necessarily disprove that. But you didn't really get the best look at the person who killed your brother either.
Excuse me,
So-
I apologize.
It's alright. You certainly couldn't discount that theory.
Alright, I draw 2 kunai and take a step up towards him and say, what kind of stuff were you doing as employment to this kind of a sleazeball?
He slowly stands up, kind of pushing the seat back, and takes a gradual step toward you, clearly attempting to demonstrate that he means you no harm. And he extends a hand in your direction and says, "My name is Amon Dara.
What is it?
Amon Dara.
Can you put that in chat?
I can.
Alright. Okay.
Former Thorn of Unarith. Sword for hire. And your brother's killer."
Oh!
What? That just got real so fast.
Do an insight check to see if he's telling the truth.
I guess, yeah, I'm gonna insight check.
Okay.
I have to tell you that. You have to.
I mean, you can't think of a reason why somebody would just tell you they killed your brother.
Okay.
Bungdo!
Plot
Bungdo!
twist?
Save him!
Would you stop? I'm gonna look at him and say, give me one reason why I shouldn't put one of these through your skull.
Well, I'll give you a reason. We could use him.
Bungdo, stop. And I looked back. I said that without even looking at Bungdo, just a hand in his face. And I look, and I'm staring straight at him and say, choose your words wisely.
I give him the stink eye. Togar, not the elf.
That's fine.
It would seem that you're running low on leads, yes?
Indeed.
Be a shame if something were to happen to the only one you've got left.
Oh, shit.
Put your hands on your head and turn around.
He drops his hand and slowly turns around, keeping both hands clearly open
Okay.
and off to one side, like, kind of spread out from
Yeah.
his body. And folds them behind his head.
Okay. I will use Mage Hand just to essentially remove any noticeable weapons. And I'm not going to take them, I'm just going to take them off and put them off to the side, right next to him. And once I'm sure that I've disarmed him, essentially, I'll say, okay, now you can turn
All right,
back around.
Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Yep.
Okay. So you find down at his side there is a short sword in its scabbard, just dangling from his belt. And on the opposite side of his belt, you find a rather wicked-looking dagger. There seems to be a chamber of sorts inside of it.
Okay.
You take them both and set them off to the side, maybe on the table where he was sitting or something.
Yeah, just just out of his reach, but you
Okay.
know, just so that within his vision that he knows I'm not taking them. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
and that's all I find.
Yep.
Okay. Once I'm done, I'll say, okay, turn back around. So,
Again, slowly, non-threateningly, he turns back around and puts his hands back down at his sides.
I put the kunai away. I looked at Bungdo and say, Bungdo, go grab the others. No goat knights. Please.
Bongdo sighs, knowing this is a fairly serious situation, goes, very well, and then waddles off to find them.
I'll step into the doorway and kind of, not really shut the door, but pull the door half closed behind me and say, why? It's you and me here now. Why?
Wow! Can Bungdo do a speed check or something to see how fast he gets back?
Go ahead and make, let's call it an athletics check.
Bungdo's pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, short legs, but pretty quick. Yeah, it's kind of cartoonish. They're just like kind of spinning so fast you can't even see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bungo makes pretty good time. In the meantime, Eamon just sort of looks you in the eye and says, "Business is business."
I know, but why? What did this guy want my brother dead for? What was he involved in?
Well, clearly I don't have the whole story, but were I to be guaranteed safe passage at the end of this conversation, and going forward, I may be able to point you in the right direction.
I can't guarantee your safe passage outside of this room. However, I can guarantee that, at least for now, you can remain living. How long have you been under the employment?
You cut out.
Oh, sorry. How long have you been under the employment of this guy?
Just odd jobs here and there. Last one was well, your brother before taking an extended leave and gallivanting throughout the countryside of this wonderful continent.
Okay. And I'll kind of extend my ear to see if I hear anybody coming up the stairs yet.
You do hear faint sounds, probably the sounds of someone walking along the second story landing.
Okay.
So probably about to come up the spiral staircase.
I'm sprinting.
Okay.
I'm going to wait, you said you're sprinting?
Yep.
I'm going to
Yeah,
shut the
so you
door
hear-
and lock it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Okay.
running up the stairs.
Wow!
I'm going to shut the door and lock it for a second and say, you've got probably 12 seconds before they come in here, and they're not going to stop to ask questions.
Smashing through.
Bungdo wants to do a strength check to break down the door.
Assisting.
Okay. So I would like Bungdo and Trogdor to roll initiative. Okay. Unflinchingly, the elf in front of you just says, if you truly want this information, you'll figure out a way to stay their hands. At this point, there is a loud ksh against the door. Trogdor, go ahead and make a strength check. It rattles on its hinges, and you do see like a brief kind of give of the wood just bending a bit, but the door is thus far intact.
I shout out, stop! Trogdor. I'll let you in, but you need to stay your hand. That goes double for you, Bungdo.
How thick is the door? Can we hear him?
Yeah, you can hear him.
Damn. God, I really want to break down the fucking door.
You can still choose to.
I'll open.
Oh.
I
All
hear
you hear
There's a
is
loud thump. There is a.
I want to take a few steps back and try again.
At this point,
At that point, what's Maya doing?
well, I was just gonna say at this point, can I take a try at the door? Just
Yeah.
kind of them away and try to
Yeah,
take
so-
it in.
As the two of them are kind of recoiling from their first attack on the door, I'll say since you didn't roll, you'd clearly be last, but you'd probably get it in. So go ahead and make a strength check if you'd like.
Make what?
Strength check.
Oh, that's athletics. Can I use my athletics?
Either way, it gets the job done. And so, after the two thumps, and as Trogdor is rearing back to bulldoze his way through the door at full speed, Maya is able to come up the stairs and, with a calculated kick, not kick the door down per se, but splinter it at the point where it's, like right around the knob, and kind of just blow it back into the room. The door swings open, revealing Togar with his back to you, as well as a cloaked elven figure. It's hard to really make anything of other than that.
Does he have his hood down?
No. Hood is still up, but you can see the kind of angular, pale face of this elf, and a bit of dark hair sort of swept back somewhere deeper in the cloak.
Can Trogdor and I enter now then?
I'm like standing basically in the doorway with one of my arms outstretched behind me, still not taking my eyes off the elf. Just more like saying, hold, you know, my hand saying hold.
I still moving.
Okay, I'd like then Maya and
I'm not attacking. I'm just walking in.
I mean,
Okay.
if Maya's like just walking in, I'll let her pass
okay,
to come in.
Bungdo. Well, after I'll wait till she does her walking in thing.
okay. Maya walks in.
Okay. Bungdo runs up behind Togar and then tries to leap and kick off of the side of the door over Togar and then land in a slide with his staff up in a like ninja stance.
All right.
I will make all rolls necessary for this.
Go ahead and make an athletics check followed by an acrobatics check. So you come running in, and as you attempt to sort of jump, well, double jump, once to the wall and then once off of it and over Togar, you don't quite have enough power on that jump, and you end up just sort of running your knees into the back of Togar, flipping over him and kind of landing on your head in front of him, flipping over his shoulders and head.
I'm just gonna one arm, that same arm that I had holding back, swing around and just like push him as hard as I can towards the wall.
I want to dodge.
You're upside down in front of me,
Yeah, your legs are kind of up in the air.
so I want to just like attempt to push him completely away, like out of my way.
I'll do it at disadvantage.
Well, you managed to push his legs
Yeah,
and sort of tip him the rest of the way over.
Yeah, very forcefully though, like, you know,
Okay.
like a parent who's just sick of some, you know, their kid fucking around and they're really trying to be serious about it. So,
Bungdo was just going into the room to investigate.
okay.
So once Bungdo is done being Bungdo, I want to insist that he puts his hood down. So, put your hood down where I can see you.
With an obliging nod, the elf sort of takes one hand and brings the hood of the cloak back, revealing a good amount of long, dark brown hair, pretty much all tied back in a ponytail of sorts.
I just look at Maya and say, he killed my brother. And then I look back at, Iman. By the way, what is Unareth? Or do I not know?
Sounds familiar.
It should sound familiar. Maybe not to your characters per se, but I would say any of you could go ahead and make a history check if you'd like to try to remember.
Nope, don't remember shit.
Trogdor!
Yeah. So let's see. Bungdo and Trogdor, the ones who are not from this continent, remember that Unareth is the name of the great forest to the east,
Oh,
the elves.
that's why it sounded familiar. Okay.
No, I didn't tell you that.
Well,
I'm
no,
kidding.
no,
I
that's,
told you that.
that's completely, like, player knowledge versus
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
character knowledge, so. It sounded familiar, I couldn't remember. So I'll just say, I would kill him where he stands now, but he has information. This is more kind of talking to Maya. What should we do, Maya?
What does he ask for in return for his knowledge?
His life.
His life to how far?
So life in prison sound fine.
Okay, did Maya kick the door in, like snap it in half, or is it still functional?
It's essentially functional, but you probably couldn't fully latch the door.
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and push the door shut right in Trogdor's face
Savage.
with that comment.
Wait, what did he say?
I offered him a life in jail.
Oh,
I mean, he's not dying at that point.
Mr. Trogdor, let me handle this. Maya, you're the voice of reason. Or you have been.
And I'm going to turn to Eamon and say, what exactly are you wanting for the price of your information?
Well, safe passage would certainly be a start.
Out of the city?
A simple guarantee that you won't be interfering should be more than enough.
I look at Maya and say, I have already agreed to this. He is just a mere tool of somebody's machinations. I don't feel the need to make the messenger pay for this. However, whoever did give this order above, or whoever did cause this order, they are my target.
Even if he's just a messenger, he's still a killer.
Yes, but take one out, there's 100 more ready to take their place.
If you can give us information that is vital for us to continue our search for this plot of his brother's killing, we won't interfere until you're out of the city. Once you are out of the city, I do not promise anything, including even us attacking you if we ever meet again.
I look at him and I nod my head.
He seems to think for a moment. And eventually says, I wasn't done, you know.
Then continue.
Bungdo rolls his eyes.
Well, given that one of my most affluent clients is now, shall we say, out of the market, well, a man has to eat.
The last time I checked, there's food in this house. Take it on your way out.
He smirks at the comment.
I'm sure there are things worth value in this house. You can feel free to take them and leave.
If you can assure that no one will interfere.
Well, I mean, we will leave soon with the Goat Knights. So as long as you can leave this premises without raising alarm, we will not tell them that you are here.
I'm quite confident I can do that.
Alright, I will nod and mage hand and pick up his both his dagger and sword and offer them to him.
Okay. Again, slowly, non-threateningly, he moves to take them.
One move the wrong way, and just know the one outside the door doesn't like elves very much. And I'll roll a deception check if I have to.
Sure, go ahead. Hmm. Okay. He says, "You don't need to lie, you know. Been watching you for the better part of a week."
Was I your next target?
Well, that's not really important anymore now, is it?
Oh, it's still very, very much so. Because it's one thing if I'm your target.
Well,
But
if there's no paycheck at the end of the job, there's really no reason for me to follow through.
Well, us guaranteeing your safety out of the city is a paycheck.
I was referring to the dead contract and the dead employer.
If we ask for information, I'm assuming that it is a yes. Togar was your next contract.
Was it the same guy?
It was more of a speculative job. You'd certainly drawn some attention to yourselves in all of your travels. Perrin, Drake's Landing, down to Strasza, and finding your way here. Did you like the gift I left for you in Drake's Landing, by the way?
Scrolling through my notes to figure out what that was.
Bodak.
Where is Termilla?
She's kind of hanging back behind Trogdor. And at this point, I was just going to say, she, kind of not knowing entirely what's going on, you just hear her from outside, beyond the door, like, "What's going on in there? Does someone need help?"
Yes, Tormilla, actually, I'll open the door with Machan. Come in, Tormilla. You should be part of this conversation as well.
All right.
Look back towards him and say, "What present?"
Oh, you know the one I left out in the town square. It was a bit messy.
Oh. So that was your work as well. You've just been a busy little bee around us.
And was she also supposed to be part of your handiwork?
Oh yes, at this point I'll let Tormilla through and kind of point. Say, was she a responsibility of yours as well?
Well, the funny thing is, when someone's already dead, it's a bit difficult to take out a contract on them, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but she was presumed to be dead.
But so someone needed to start the strings on
Yes.
killing her.
Was the same person pulling your strings the one pulling the strings for her?
From what I gather, Mr. Ledforge had no idea that this one was still alive.
Okay. Now, on to the real big question is, what was he doing? What was his end game? I know you were just an employee of his, but for the love of God, you're staying in his house. There was a beholder in the basement. I know you have an idea of what was going on.
Let's get one thing straight. I wasn't staying here. I had a meeting scheduled with him.
Was that before or after he turned into a Bodak?
Well, I heard a bit of a commotion downstairs and took a look outside, saw it was you, and, well, rather than moving on to my next appointment of the day, I figured it might be fun to pay my respects.
And who is your next appointment of the day?
I am a professional. I couldn't just give away secrets like that, especially when they have nothing to do with your task at hand.
I nod slightly towards him.
I will withdraw my offer of safety, and I will present a new one. I will allow you to get out of Thogladar. But once you are, that's it. You don't come back. I have the power to grant this. Or rather, somebody, and I'll kind of glance at Tormilla, does have the power to be able to grant this. But they also have that power to, what have you wanted dead.
The interesting thing about banishments and exiles and all of those sorts of things is the local guard has to be able to find you first.
Yes, but it definitely helps if they know what they're looking for.
I will repeat, I am something of a professional here. If I need to return to the city, I will return to the city. Don't you worry about that.
Tell us what you know.
Well, what I do know is that your recent acquaintance, Mr. Ledforge, had a number of friends with whom he exchanged sealed, cryptic communication.
And those people were?
Well, there were many of them, but it would seem that most of them had ties to the area of Drake's Landing. no one of real import from a social standpoint. No governors or high-ranking officials. Just quite a few of them out, in the wilds just outside of Drake's Landing and surrounding area. I didn't want to interfere too much, but, well, couldn't help but wonder, you know.
What do you know of the altar at Drake's Landing? Did that have something to do with it?
What altar would this be?
The altar inside of the cave.
Or also the altar of those sea cultists.
Yes. But I'm more concerned with... What about the Thogonite that was delivered there?
Well, I'm not exactly an engineer, but what I do know is that Thogonite can be a bit volatile, explosive.
Yes,
And-
but... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say yes, but you're in the industry of using things for their unintended purposes. What do you think they were going to use the Thogonite for?
What did they use the Thogonite for?
To be quite honest, I didn't exactly stick around to see, but there was a large stone in this cave. I think it's the one to which you're referring. Number of runes and such carved into it, yes?
Yes.
They had amassed quite a large supply of presumably Thogonite around the base of this stone. I'm not sure exactly what happened next, but spending as much time as I have here in Togwadar, well, perhaps they needed something to destroy whatever that stone was.
Yes. And I'll draw the ornate dagger and say that stone was tied in some way to this dagger. As well. Are these people that did that? Are they the same ones that Shitbag has been having contact with?
So it would seem.
Okay.
Is there anything you saw before or after of note when you left the cave?
Well,
I say, Maya, give me the bag of holding for a second.
I unsling the bag of holding from my shoulder and put it in between us.
I'll reach in, pull out the jar with the worm in it, and I'll just kind of slide it towards him and say, what about these? They were all over that stone.
Can't say I know anything about those, but, well, certainly doesn't seem like anything I've ever seen before.
Well, if you saw the stone, I'm certain you couldn't have missed these. They were all around it. Zombies. Dead bodies getting back up.
I did see quite a messy situation in the the pit at the other end of the cave, if that's what you're referring to. Didn't
That is.
stick around long enough to see any worms or anything like that, but, well, they certainly had no short supply of bodies.
Are you saying that they threw dead bodies into that side of the cave?
So it appeared.
Anything else you know that might be of interest to us?
Well, I don't suppose any of you speak any of the fell tongues, do you?
No.
No.
What languages are those?
That would refer to like abyssal,
I thought Bungdo
infernal.
spoke Abyssal.
No, I think Octa did.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Celestial and Primordial.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, no, that wouldn't qualify, but
Okay, no worries. I just didn't know what the list was of.
mhm. Well, for whatever it's worth, it would seem that well, whatever's going on here is eventually leading to something in a place called. Let me see if my lessons have held up. Marutzamak?
Could you spell that? I have M.
It
Yeah.
starts with an E.
Yeah, it's Marutzanak, but it starts with an E.
Alright. So that would be spelled. At least the closest common approximation would be spelled like this.
Oh, buddy. Alright. Okay. Next question is, was Leadforge working alone? Or does he have other contacts in this city?
To my knowledge, he didn't have any contacts with whom he shared these cryptic messages. He is certainly, well, was certainly a man of means, and seemed to have a number of the locals in his pocket, so to speak.
But none that you know of within this matter.
Well, it was the guard captain who allowed the smuggling of the Thogonite out of the city.
He's dead. I'm looking at Maya and saying this.
I nod.
Next.
Who else? Well, a number of the guards, but
Yes, but once the captain's taken care of, I'm sure they'll understand.
a man of action. I do respect that.
Next question. What did this guy want with my brother? Why did he have to die?
From what I gather, and I mean this in the most sincere of ways, your brother was simply too good, too honest. He wouldn't have allowed such things to happen. Such things that clearly my client needed to happen for one reason or another. And so, he was an obstacle that had to be dealt with.
Do you have a name of the person in Drake's Landing? What in the hell is going on? Jesus.
You have Mr. Extra Point.
Jeez.
We're talking to his brother's killer.
And all I hear is
That's amazing.
Well,
All right, getting back into the game. He says, "Well, as I said, there are a number of people, but well, if you were to hunt someone down, I suppose you might start with Elminar."
Elmanon.
Let me go ahead and paste that, 'cause it sounded like you didn't quite hear me.
Oh, Elmanar. Yeah, I heard Elmanon. Okay.
Something of a rickety old half-elf. Oh, just generally one of those dark and spooky types.
Did you see him when you left Drake's Landing? Because if Scumbag that was your employer is any indication, we may have already ran across Elmanar.
Can't say I was keeping the closest tabs on him.
Hey Becca,
But,
is it possible to mute your mic? I literally can't hear Eric.
Yeah.
Push to talk might be fine.
Yeah, that should work.
That's what I'm working.
Sorry.
Alright. But yeah, so he says, I wasn't exactly keeping track of him. But, well, given that there weren't really any other witnesses to whatever you did in that cave, afraid I'm not entirely caught up with the most recent events with that group.
Okay. And then the last thing I will do is I'll pull out the note that has the 3 cities on it. And say, I found this in Perrin, and it's tied to something. Something to do with all of this. Any ideas? Is there a reason why Perrin is on this list? I can tell why Thogladar and Drake's Landing are.
Well, what do you know about the note? Where did you find it?
I found it in Perrin on a soldier, and I do air quotes for soldier, but I would have to say, or sailor, not soldier, sorry, sailor. But very shortly afterward, people started disappearing and were winding up in warehouses out by the docks.
Oh, you had a hand in that too, did you?
As did you?
Can't say I did, but I arrived in Perrin shortly after.
Yes, we did have a hand in stopping the cult of Charybdis from summoning Charybdis.
Well, you found that note on a sailor. Perhaps it was an itinerary?
Okay, I'll put it away. Pull out the cavern note and say, is this one of the notes or one of the encrypted messages you speak of?
He kind of takes it and looks it over, squints at the characters on the page, and says, "Well, it certainly appear to be from your friend in Thogladar, Mr. Leadforge. Certainly seem to reflect our dealings. I suppose this would probably be one of those correspondences, yes."
Okay. Eric, where did I find this cavern note? That we found this in the. No, where did we find this?
You found it in the mostly emptied out crates of Thogonite in the cavern where you fought the first Bodak.
Okay. Okay, and I guess I'll look at him and say, did you have a hand in this? Because who would leave a note like this just laying around?
Probably someone who thought they'd already won.
Okay. I look at Maya and say, well, I have no other information that I could gather or would need to gather. With that, I'm literally just going to sigh, turn around, open the door, walk out, and just walk down the stairs, completely pushing past everybody. And once I get down to the bottom of the stairs, you just hear boom of Togar just basically putting his fist through the wall.
You're
Or
cutting
hitting
out
it.
again.
Basically, as soon as I get down to the bottom of the stairs, I'm going to turn to the nearest wall and just punch the shit out of the wall.
Okay.
Just out of sheer
go ahead
frustration.
Yeah, go ahead and make a... call it a strength check.
Oh, that's a
Or-
save.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alright. So yeah, you're actually able, you see a couple little cracks kind of form where you impact the wall. Somehow you're able to avoid breaking your hand in the process as well.
And then, with that, I'm going to just continue down and find the leader of the goat, or whoever the leader of the Goat Knights that were with us was,
Mm-hmm.
and just say, "There's nothing more here. They'll be down in a minute. You guys might want to start filing out, just so that, because I know it's going to take a bit of time to get the goats out."
You're still cutting up like crazy.
Oh, am I? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Is that better?
So far.
Okay. I just find the leaders and say, "There's nothing more here. You guys should start making your way out. I know it's going to take you a bit longer to get the goats out, so. But we need to report back to, fuck, what the hell's his name?
General Snowhand?
Yes, we need to report back to General Snowhand and let him know what has transpired.
Fair enough. And he kind of just turns around and gestures for the rest of the Goat Knights to begin filing out.
Should I come with you, or come with the group, or should I just send Maya to talk to General Snowhand? I'm asking the leader.
Yeah, yeah. It would seem that you're all quite welcome. So, if you'd like, you can certainly come by, or, well, however you want to go about it.
Okay. If you could just inform General Snowhand that myself and his daughter will both be coming.
Yes, sir.
Heyo.
Very well. We shall be by momentarily. And with that, I will go upstairs and just wait at the bottom of, the turret. Basically, right where I cracked the wall, I'm going to just kind of stand there and wait for everybody else.
So, bottom of the spiral staircase then?
Yep. Yeah.
Alright.
So when Togar leaves, I want to turn towards Termilla and say, Termilla and Bungdo and say, Termilla, can you follow him and make sure the Goat Knights leave? And Bungdo, can you tell Trogdor that we are not to harm this man until he leaves the city?
Bungdo kind of sighs again and then walks over to Trogdor, assuming he's still right near us.
He's behind
outside.
the door. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to open the door and leave.
Well, that's what I meant, but he's right there though. I don't have to walk the fuck away. So I just kind of open the door slightly and tell him.
And I'll turn back to Eamon and reiterate and re-say my question of, can I have the names of your competitors?
My competitors. You're going to kill the competition?
It's useful knowledge, whatever I do with it.
Well, there are a few of us who've put our former training to use. Should you hear the names Prizira, Illumin, or Silamir, watch your back.
Taylor, can you write those down? And Eric, can you type them in chat?
Yeah. I was just going to say, Eric, you want me to take it down, or do you want to just give it to her when she gets back?
Well, is there any more knowledge you think we should know before we let you continue on your business?
Let me get this stuff taken care of first.
Okay. I'll just save this as a document for Becca. Or, yeah. Cool. Sure, I have screen real estate. I can throw that there. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, and then what were you saying, as Maya?
Is there any other knowledge you think that would be helpful for us before I let you go about your business?
it may be wise to simply take up day jobs.
This is my day job. With
Oh,
that,
how dramatic.
with that, I'll turn around and chuckle at his comment and shoo everyone out.
Alright. Seemingly almost in response to your last comment, by the time you turn around, he's already gone.
He's Batman.
And I'm still just standing there at the bottom. I would assume Tormilla came first. Well, shut up, Phil.
I'm sorry.
Well, she probably would have still been. Well, let's see. She went to let people know what's going on. So yeah, she's probably down first. Yeah.
All right. I'll just say I already told the Goat Knights they're leaving. You, me, and the rest of our group are to report to your father as soon as we leave here.
Sounds like a plan. By the way, are you all right?
I don't know. I just let the one person that I could redeem myself and redeem my brother's memories. I let that one person walk away. My only other regret is that Farrig got the easy way out. Had I known he was the one to order my brother's death, I would have made his death slow and very painful.
Well, the way I see it, you've taken the better path. And, lest we forget, you still have the chance to make the people responsible pay by foiling whatever it is they're trying to do. I think that would be the best way to honor brothers. Not killing someone because he was the one who dealt the blow or called for the murder. No. Stop the thing that they wanted to accomplish, whatever it is. Whatever darkness they're about to unleash on the world. Put an end to it. And your brother's death won't have been in vain.
I agree. That's the main reason why I spared him, is because at the end of the day, he's no better than this, and I'd pull out the ornate dagger and just kind of throw it to the ground. He's no better than that. That's all he is a tool. I wouldn't have been satisfied by killing him. I hope Moradin watches over me for what I will do to the people who caused this.
As long as you're doing it for the right reasons, he'll do more than just watch over you.
I appreciate it, Tornella, and I will give her a hug. more out of like just sheer frustration and the need to, it was either hug her or punch the wall again. So.
All right. Anything else you guys would like to do?
Are we still in the house?
You guys are still up on the third floor.
Yeah,
Unless-
like you went down, but we're still fucking about.
Yes.
Yeah, Bungdo would like to look around and see if he sees any nice pieces of furniture.
Nice pieces of furniture.
Yes, like exotic wooden furniture or something.
Okay, are you just kind of like looking through the whole house?
Yep.
All right.
And I
yeah.
asked Trogdor to come with me.
Okay.
Trogdor, could I use your assistance for a second?
What
Go
for?
ahead. Sorry. Keep going.
That was it.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead and make an investigation check, I guess.
Investigation.
Yeah. So apart from the kind of standard, almost ragged-looking things that you've seen up in the turrets and then down in the basement, all of the furniture in the main part of the house, both upstairs and downstairs, it's all pretty nice, quite well made, clearly crafted by some rather expert hands.
Alright, I want to go throughout the house and have him cut the furniture into like 6-inch by 6-inch squares.
What am I gonna cut it with?
I mean, you have your axe, or is it a hammer?
Alright.
Or
I
a
have
mace?
a mace and a flail.
Ah, fuck, I thought you had an axe. Do you have any other blade?
I do not think so.
Well,
Wait,
you could get some really nice wood chips out of it.
Who has an axe in the party? Or a sword?
That would be me. I have both.
Okay, well, I run and get him, and then beg him to come help me cut things into squares.
So you just come running down?
Yep. Togar! Trogdor's in trouble. Come help!
What does he need? Why can Maya help him?
He's dying. He needs an axe. We need to amputate his leg.
I pull out one of my axe hammers and just kind of throw it at his feet and say, "There."
I grab it and take it upstairs and then cut the wood into squares.
Okay.
I kind of want to see him do a strength check to.
I was gonna say athletic because it's
Oh.
both control and strength here.
Oh!
Togar, just for fun.
Yeah.
What's the damage on your axe hammers?
It is a D6.
Okay. So, as Bungdo is raising the axe hammer up over his head to bring it down for the very first time on a pretty nice looking end table he stumbled across. He swings it down, and mid-swing, he feels his grip loosening on the axe hammer, and it pretty much just flies right out of his hand, hitting Trogdor for 2 points of slashing damage.
A 2 hits my AC?
No, it's not a 2 to hit. It's 2 points of damage.
Yeah, it hit.
Okay.
Bungdo's eyes widen a little bit, and he has a slight smile, but he hides it and doesn't laugh, and then points at the table. Trogdor! I meant to give you the axe a bit slower, but could you please cut up the table?
I'll just walk out of the room. Way outside the house.
Oh, wow. Fuck, okay. I light the fucking house on fire.
Okay. Given that it's a stone house, it's kind of hard to light on fire, but
The
you can
table,
light
then.
a number of things in the house on fire. Yeah. All right. So you produce flame and just kind of hold it to the table, and after.
No.
Uh,
I'm throwing produce flames around the room.
All right, fair enough. So you throw small fireballs all over this room. You catch a tapestry on the wall. You catch a rug on the floor. The end table goes up in flames, as well as the bottom half of the bed in this room.
I walk out of the house.
Okay.
And by the way, Bungdo is in a foul mood now.
I'm
All
still
right.
sitting at the bottom of that spiral staircase.
Well, you probably shouldn't stay there.
What, do you say that?
No.
But you can probably smell burning wood. It's actually kind of a nice smell. Quite nice wood. And so there's kind of this pleasant, exotic campfire-like aroma that's beginning to float throughout the house.
Is that about the time Bungdo walks by?
He probably just walked by, and then the smell starts reaching you.
Bungdo, what did you do? What is that smell?
Disappointment! And then I keep walking.
I summon Mage Hand in front of his face. Bungdo, and it's just saying with like the stop hand. I say, Bungdo, what did you do?
I continue walking out of the house.
I look at Termilla and say, if I know Bungdo like I do, we need to get the hell out of here. Like, quick.
Okay.
We also might want to, you don't have the ability to do any water, do you? Produce water?
Water.
I mean... Go ahead, sorry.
I know Bungdo's used to producing flame, so I'm assuming you did something.
Let's see what she's got up her sleeve. Nope. Nothing that would provide water.
So you did steal the jug, so you can just, like, make water.
Okay, I'll say, well, and I'll run up the stairs.
Or you can just sit back and enjoy it with Bungdo.
I'm gonna run up the stairs and look at Bungdo's handiwork.
Okay. Well, actually, if you were at the there, yeah. Anyway, you wouldn't have to go upstairs. It would probably be on the floor you're on. But yeah, you follow the smoke and find it. And yeah, at this point, there's a tapestry that has probably burned 2/3 of the way up. The fire just kind of working its way from bottom to top. There's a bed that has essentially collapsed at its at the two posts near the foot of the bed. The straw mattress is beginning to catch, and you just see the entire room is partially obscured in this thick smoke that's been contained as the door was closed behind it, or behind Bungdo, I should say.
Is there a window?
Yes, there is.
Can I mage hand and punch the fucking window out?
Sure. Do you have like a
There isn't an attack.
speed or something? Yeah, it would basically be an unarmed strike.
Yeah, that's fine. I do have, yeah, I have that.
Okay, go ahead and do that. All right. So yeah, without much of an issue, you're able to summon your hand and kind of punch out at least part of the window and kind of provide some ventilation for the room.
Does it look like this room is going to be self-contained? Like the fire won't spread through the entire house? Or, like, is there...
I mean, most of the house seems to be made of stone and metal. So, yeah, you don't think it would really become that much of an issue?
Okay, I'm going to, shut the door now that I punched out a window. I'm going to shut the door and go back down and say, yeah, we probably should leave. That room's toast.
Bungdo has a slight smile on his face.
Okay. And
I do
hearing this,
admire the
Tormilla just kind of
handiwork.
looks at you like, right. Okay.
Yeah, we saw nothing. I don't know that jerk, that Amon, that elf. He was the one who lit the fire. We saw that.
What's Trogdor doing?
Being
Trog.
the strong
really?
silent type.
I exited the house after walking away from Bungdo.
Okay. Then I guess I will follow the rear out.
Okay. Anybody else have any more business in the house?
Decide
getting
that
the fuck
this is a good time for a bathroom break.
I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.